Welcome to the lecture series on nonlinear programming. Now we will see in this lecture what quadratic programming problems are. Okay. We have already seen convex functions, their properties, KKT conditions, necessary and sufficient, etc. Okay. Now what QPP or quadratic programming problems are and how can we solve these problems, we will see in this lecture. Let us see. What is a quadratic programming problems first? A quadratic programming problem QPP is a special class of nonlinear optimization problems in which the objective function is quadratic and all the constraints are linear. So, if we have a nonlinear programming problem in which the objective function is quadratic, quadratic means of degree 2 and all the constraints are linear, then such problems are called quadratic programming problems. Okay. So, the general format of QPP is minimizing function fx which is equals to x transpose qx plus c transpose x subject to ax less than or equal to b and x non-negative, where q, this q is a matrix and this matrix is of order n cross n, is a symmetric positive semi definite matrix. C and x belongs to Rn, b belongs to Rm and A is an m cross n matrix. Okay. So, this is the general format of a quadratic programming problem. You see, suppose we have this example, it is minimizing fx is equals to, it is 3x1 square plus 4x2 square plus 2x1 x2 minus, it is 2x1 minus 3x2 and subject to what are the conditions? Conditions are 3x1 plus 2x2 less than or equal to 6 and x1 plus x2 less than or equal to 2 and x1 x2 non-negative. So, in this problem the objective function is quadratic because it is of degree 2 and all the involved constraints are linear. So, we can say that this problem is a quadratic programming problem. Now, the main function fx, objective function fx can be written as minimum fx which is equals to, now this can be written as s1 x2. Okay. Now, it is 3, it is 1, you take the half of the coefficient of x1 x2 here, 1 here and 4 here, x1 x2. Now, when you multiply these 3 matrices, you will get back to 3x1 square plus 4x2 square plus 2x1 x2, that we can readily see, and plus minus 2 minus 3 of x1 x2. So, when you multiply these two, it is nothing but minus 2x1 minus 3x2 which is this part of the objective function, the linear part, subject to what are the conditions? Conditions are 3, 2, 1, 1, it is x1 x2 less than equals to, it is 6 2 and x1 x2 are greater than equals to 0 0. So, here when here if you observe this problem, so this if we take as capital X or x, suppose this if you take it x, so it is x transpose, if you take this as x, so this is nothing but x transpose and this we can take as q, matrix q, this is C or C transpose, this is x, this is a matrix A, this is x, vector x less than equals to vector b and this x is greater than equal to 0, this is 0 vector. So, this is a same format which we discuss here, minimizing of function fx subject to minimize the function fx x transpose qx plus c transpose x subject to ax less than equal to b and x greater than equal to 0. So, we can say that this problem is a quadratic programming problem. Now, this q which is here, you can readily see that this Q is 3 1 1 4. If you see D1, which is a leading principal minor of order 1 cross 1, it is 3 greater than 0, and D2 is again it is 12 minus 1, determinant of matrix Q, it is 11, is again greater than 0. So, the matrix Q is positive definite, and hence it is positive semi definite. Okay. So, we can say that this is an example of quadratic programming problem. Okay. Now, the first way to solve a quadratic programming problem is graphically. How can we solve a QPP graphically? Let us see. So, QPP can be solved graphically also. So, it is minimum of x1 minus 2 whole square plus x2 minus 1 whole square subject to x1 plus x2 less than or equal to 2 and x1 x2 non-negative. So, it is a QPP because objective function is quadratic involving of degree 2 and all constraints are linear. So, it is a quadratic programming problem. Okay. Now, how can we solve it graphically? Let us see. So, what is the feasible region? So, it is 1 2, it is 1 2 and it is x1 plus x2 equal to 2, because when x2 is 0, x1 is 2, and when x1 is 0, x2 is 2. So, this point is 2 comma 0 and this point is 0 comma 2. Okay. And it is less than or equal to 2 if we take a point on this side of this line, say 0 0. So, 0 plus 0 is less than or equal to 2, satisfying the constraint. So, we shade towards origin, and x1 x2 non-negative also, that is the first quadrant. So, this will be the feasible region. This is a feasible region of this problem. So, we can easily see that feasible region of a quadratic programming problem is always a convex set. Why? Because all the constraints are linear, all the constraints are linear. So, all the constraints are convex function, all the constraints are convex, and we have already seen that a collection of a convex function, the set constituting collection of the convex function, is a convex set. So, the feasible region of QPP is always a convex set. Okay. So, this we can easily see. Now, what to minimize? We have to minimize x1 minus 2 whole square plus x2 minus 1 whole square, that is, this is something 2 comma 1, this point. Okay. But this point is not feasible. We have to find that x1 x2 will satisfy these constraints and minimize our objective function. Okay. Now, this point will give the minimum value which is 0, but this 2 comma 1 is not feasible. So, we have to find that point which is closest to this feasible region, that will minimize this our objective function. Now, this is a equation of circle with center 2 comma 1, suppose radius is r. Okay. So, what we have to basically do? We have to basically minimize the radius of the circle. Okay. Now, we have so many circles of center 2 comma 1, okay, and different radius, which will minimize this objective function, which will touch this straight line. You see, if we increase the radius, so that radius will be naturally higher than this radius. If we increase more radius, if we make bigger circle, then that circle will come to the feasible region, okay, but the radius will be larger than this radius. So, that will not be the minimum one. So, the radius which will satisfy the constraint and minimize our objective function will be the circle which touch this straight line. That is this. So, that means this straight line will be a tangent to the circle. Okay. Now, what this point is? Say this point is x bar y bar. This point we have to find out. This point is an optimal point. Okay. Now, this point will satisfy this this constraint. So, this constraint will be suppose x1 bar x bar y bar equal to 2. Okay. Satisfy this constraint, and now this is an perpendicular also, and this center is 2 comma 1. Slope of this line will be nothing but y1 bar minus y bar minus 1 upon x bar minus 2, and slope of this line is minus 1, and both are perpendicular. So, this will be nothing but equal to 1, okay, because they are negative reciprocal. So, from here what we obtain, y bar minus 1 will be nothing but x bar minus 2, and this implies x bar minus y bar is nothing but 1. Now, from these two equations we can easily get x bar and y bar. So, what are the values of x bar and y bar? When you add them, you will get x bar as 3 by 2 and y bar as 1 by 2. So, this is the optimal point, x bar 3 by 2, y bar 1 by 2. That means, x1 equals to 3 by 2 and x2 equal to 1 by 2 will be the optimal solution of this quadratic programming problem. Okay. So, in this particular problem we have observed two things. Number one, feasible region of a quadratic programming problem is always a convex set, because it is compromising of set of linear constraints. All linear constraints are convex. So, the set constituted by the convex convex functions is always a convex set. So, the feasible region is a convex set. Number two, the optimal solution of a quadratic programming problem may not be obtained at the vertices. In linear programming problems, what we have? In linear programming problem, always the optimal solution, that is the minimum or the maximum of the objective function, if attained only at the vertices. However, in quadratic programming problem it may attain other than the vertices, okay, as we have already seen in this particular example. So, there is a one way out to solve quadratic programming problem, but we can easily see that only for two variable problems we can solve graphical approach, we can apply graphical approach, but not for problems more than two variables. So, how can we solve those problems? Let us see. So, we will write KKT conditions for QPP. Okay. So, what was our QPP? QPP was minimizing fx is equal to x transpose qx plus c transpose x subject to ax less than equals to b and x non-negative. Now, this constraint can be written as ax minus b less than equals to 0, and this constraint is minus x less than equal to 0, because for KKT conditions all constraint must be less than equal to 0 type. Okay. Now, suppose we take multiplier corresponding to these constraints, say u bar or u, which belongs to Rm. How many constraints we are having for this system? M constraints. So, we need m number of KKT multipliers for ax minus b less than equal to 0 constraint. Now, how many constraints here we are having? M. So, we need n number of variables for this particular these constraints. Okay. So, how many KKT multipliers we were having now? M plus n. M for these constraints because these are m in number, and n for these constraints because these are n in number. So, total number of KKT multipliers required to find out the KKT conditions for QPP are m plus n. Okay. Now, how to write KKT conditions? So, we already know KKT conditions are, it is gradient of fx plus summation I from 1 to m lambda I gi of x equal to 0, and lambda I gix equal to 0 for all I, and gix less than or equal to 0, and lambda I non-negative. Now here instead of lambda I, which are the KKT multipliers corresponding to the constraints, we are having u and v as KKT multipliers correspond to the constraints. Okay. Objective function is x transpose qx plus c transpose x. So let us write down first KKT condition. What is gradient of fx? Gradient means, what is gradient? Gradient of fx means what? Gradient of fx means del f by del x1, del f by del x2, and so on, del f by del xn. Okay. Now you can understand these how to write this KKT condition by an example. Suppose objective function is minimum of x. Suppose it is 3x1 square plus 2x2 square, 2x2 square plus x1 x2 minus 4x1 minus 2x2, and suppose it is subject to x1 plus 2x2 less than or equals to 6, and minus x1 less than or equal to 0, and minus x2 less than or equal to 0. Suppose we have this QPP. So what are the KKT conditions for this problem? Writing this KKT conditions, we will write the KKT condition for the general QPP. Okay. So what will be gradient of fx for this problem? It is 6x1 plus x2, then it is 4x2 plus x1, del f by del x1, del f by del x2, del f by del x1, del f by del x2. Of course, minus 4 will be here and minus 2 will be here, plus now we are taking u here and v1 here and v2 here. These are the KKT multipliers. Okay. These are this is only one constraint, and these are two constraints, so v1 v2, and this is only one constraint, so u will be the KKT multiplier corresponding to that constraint. Then u times gradient of this, so 1 and 2. Gradient of this means del g by del x1, del g by del x2, del g by del x1, del g by del x2, plus v1 times derivative of this respect to x1 minus 1 and x2 0, plus v2 0 minus 1, and it is 0 comma 0. So the first equation is nothing but, so what is the first equation? So we can obtain this plus u minus v1 plus 0 equals to 0, that is 6x1 plus x2 minus 4 plus u minus v1 equal to 0. The second equation will be 4x2 plus x1 plus 2u1, okay, minus 2 plus 2u minus v2 equal to 0. Okay. So these are the KKT condition corresponding to this. Now if we try to write down the derivative of this or the gradient of this, so what will be the gradient of this quadratic term? It will be nothing but 2x transpose q and plus c transpose. Why it is? You can easily see from here, from this example, what is 2 times x transpose is x1 x2, and what is q? Q for this problem is 3 2 1 by 2 1 by 2. Okay. Now when you multiply this with this, it is nothing but 6x1. You see, it is nothing but 2 into 3x1 plus 1 by 2 x2, 3x and then 1 by 2 x1 plus 2 x2, and you multiply with 2. So it is 6x1 plus x2, 6x1 plus x2, okay, and then x1 plus 4x2, x1 plus 4x2. You write in a row form or column form, it is up to us. We have to follow the same thing in the entire problem. Either the entire thing we write in a row wise or entire thing we write in a column wise. Okay. So, the first term, that is this term, this term plus C transpose. C transpose here is what? Minus 4 minus 2. So, minus 4 minus 2 when you add here, so it will be minus 4 minus 2. Okay. Then plus plus U transpose, because it is sum of lambda with Gi, that is lambda 1 G1 plus lambda 2 G2 plus and so on lambda m Gm. So, it is U transpose gradient of first constraint, I mean these constraints. So, this is A, gradient of this is nothing but A. You can easily see if you write the KKT conditions for this particular problem. And then minus it is V, and gradient of this is nothing but minus I, which is equal to 0. You can see it is minus I. Okay. Now, so this is the first equation, this equation, that gradient of fx, which is this term, plus U transpose, we are taking transpose, so that we get a sum of all these things, U1 G1 plus U2 G2 plus UM Gm. Okay. So, U transpose gradient of this is A plus, and it is V transpose, of course, V transpose, and gradient of this, that is minus I, it should be 0. Now, lambda I Gi, so you multiply with lambda, either you take each component or you take sum of all the constraints with Lagrange multipliers or KKT multipliers. So, it will be U transpose Ax minus B minus V transpose x, that should be 0. We have for this problem m plus n number of constraints. Okay. So, you multiply with, this is U transpose into Ax minus B, this term, sum of all like lambda 1 G1 plus lambda 2 G2 and so on, and V transpose into this, that is this constraint. Then feasibility condition is Ax minus B less than or equals to 0 and x greater than or equal to 0, U greater than or equal to 0 and V greater than or equal to 0. All multipliers, all lambda i's must be greater than or equal to 0. Okay. So, these are the KKT condition for this problem. Okay. You can easily check these KKT conditions while writing one example of QPP. Try to write down the KKT condition for that problem, and then try to see that we will obtain these conditions for this particular problem, this QPP. Okay. Now, these conditions can be rewritten as, so these are the KKT conditions for this QPP. Okay. Now, these conditions can be rewritten as, now you take transpose both the sides for first equation. Now, transpose of A plus B is same as A transpose plus B transpose. So, transpose of this, which is nothing but 2x transpose q whole transpose, is nothing but 2q transpose x, because A into B transpose is B transpose A transpose. Now, q is a symmetric matrix. So, q transpose is q itself, so it is 2 into q into x. So, it is 2qx plus c plus A transpose u. You are taking transpose both the sides, and the transpose of this is minus v into I is equal to 0. And you leave this constraint as it is, u transpose Ax minus b minus v transpose x equals to 0, Ax minus. Now, this is less than or equal to 0. So, you can add one variable here to make it an equation. So, Ax minus b plus s equal to 0. We are adding a slack variable, we call it slack variable, okay, to make it an equation. and all variables non-negative. All the involved variables are non-negative. Now the same conditions can be rewrite as, you see, the first equation, the first condition remain as it is. The first condition is nothing but 2qx plus c plus A transpose u minus Vi equal to 0, the first condition. Now if you see the second condition, you see it is Ax minus b plus s equal to 0. So what we obtain from here, Ax minus b is nothing but minus s. You substitute minus s over here. So it is u transpose minus s minus v transpose x equal to 0. If we put these in this condition, and this is nothing but u transpose s plus v transpose x equal to 0. Now u is non-negative, s is non-negative, then their sum u1 s1 plus u2 s2 up to umsm will be non-negative, and v is non-negative and x is also non-negative, then their sum v1 x1 plus v2 x2 and so on up to vn xn, that will also be non-negative, and sum of two non-negative values is equal to 0. This implies u transpose s is 0 and v transpose x is 0. It is possible only when both are 0, because both are non-negative. Okay. Now u transpose s is 0. What does it mean? It means u transpose s is what? u1 s1 plus u2 s2 and so on up to umsm, and this means what? v1 x1 plus v2 x2 and so on up to vn xn. Now again all the components are non-negative and sum is 0. This means ui si equal to 0 for all I. Okay. This means u1 s1 equal to 0, u2 s2 equal to 0 and so on, umsm equal to 0. And again if we apply the same concept here, because each term in this expression are non-negative and sum is 0, this means each term is 0. So what we have finally concluded? We have finally concluded that the first constraint, first equation remain as it is, then it is Ax minus b plus s equal to 0, and we have a constraint which is ui si equal to 0 for all I from 1 to m, and vj xj equal to 0 for all j from 1 to n. So these are the KKT conditions for QPP. Okay, and all variables must be non-negative, of course. All variables must be non-negative. So these are KKT conditions for QPP. Okay. So these are the KKT conditions which we just obtained. These are KKT conditions for this problem. The matrix form we can easily obtain from here. You see, it is 2q A transpose minus I and 0 for S. Okay, because S variable is also there, and this is A, this is 0 I for S. Variables are x, u, v, s, and right hand side are minus c and b, with uj sj and vi xi equal to 0 for all I and j, and all variables non-negative. Okay. Now the KKT conditions which we obtained for QPP, when it will be sufficient? We have already discussed that KKT conditions are sufficient only when the involved function and the constraints all are convex. If we have minimizing fx subject to gix less than equal to 0 for all I. Okay. If we have this format of a NP non-linear programming problem, that is minimizing of fx subject to gix less than equal to 0 for all I, then the KKT condition will be sufficient if f and Gi for all I is convex. That is, we have, if we are having convex programming problem. Now, in QPP all constraints are linear. All constraints are linear means all constraints are convex. Okay. So, it is suffice to see that under which condition the involved objective function is convex. If the involved objective function is convex for some particular q, then we can say that this problem will be a convex programming problem, and hence the KKT condition will become sufficient. Okay. So, now for checking for that q, we have first a theorem, that is, let Q be a symmetric positive semi-definite matrix of order n, then for any xy belongs to Rn, this result always hold. Let us try to prove this result first. Now, here Q is a symmetric positive semi-definite matrix. So, that means Z transpose Q Z will be greater than or equal to 0 for all Z in Rn. Okay, because it is a positive semi-definite matrix. If it is true for all Z in Rn, so it will be true for x and x minus y also. It is true for any Z in Rn, so it will be true for Z equal to x minus y also. Now, if you simplify this, so it is x transpose qx minus x transpose qy minus y transpose qx minus minus plus y transpose qy is greater than or equal to 0. So, this implies x transpose qy plus y transpose qx is less than or equals to x transpose qx plus y transpose qy. Okay. Now, this x transpose qy, okay, this is a scalar. This is a scalar because we can see x transpose is a row vector, so it will be of one row and columns. X transpose, it is n cross n, and it is n cross 1, it's a column vector. So, when you multiply, so it is n cross 1 and 1 cross 1, that is, it will be the some new matrix C, which is of 1 cross 1. So, it is a scalar. Okay. Now, if it is a scalar, since it is a scalar, so x transpose qx qy will be equals to its transpose, we can easily see. Because the transpose of a scalar itself. Okay. Now, this is nothing but y transpose q transpose x, and q is a symmetric matrix. So, q transpose is q. So, it is y transpose q x. Okay. So, that means both are this and this term are equal. So, we can easily write it implies 2 x transpose q y will be less than or equals to x transpose q x plus y transpose q y. So, in this way we have proved the first result. Okay. Now, this result will be used to prove the next problem, that is, show that the function f, where f is x transpose qx plus c transpose x in QPP, is a convex function if q is a positive semi-definite symmetric matrix. Okay. So, how can we prove this? The proof is simple. Now, in order to prove this result, we need only to show that f of lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2 is less than or equals to lambda fx1 plus 1 minus lambda fx2 for all x1 x2 in Rn here, and lambda belongs to 0 to 1. This we have to show in order to show that the involved function is a convex function. So, let us try to obtain this result. Let us take this side. So, this is equal to, we have to show that this is less than or equal to 0. Okay. Then we can say the function is f is convex. Now, what is f? F is x transpose qx plus c transpose x. So, what will be f lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2? You replace x by this term. This is lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2 whole transpose q lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2 minus lambda fx1 is x1 transpose qx1 plus c transpose x1. Okay, we left with two more terms here, that is plus c transpose lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2 and plus c transpose, yeah, it is okay. Okay, this is f of lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2 minus f x1, this term, and minus 1 minus lambda, it is x2 transpose q x2 plus c transpose x2. Now, lambda is a scalar, can be taken out. So, lambda times c transpose x1 and it is also lambda times c transpose x1, positive and negative will cancel out, and 1 minus lambda is again a scalar, can be taken out. So, it is 1 minus lambda times c transpose x2 and it is also 1 minus lambda times c transpose x2. So, these terms are also cancel out. So, what we are left with? Now, you multiply, take the transpose and multiply with this term, it is then it is lambda x1 transpose lambda square, it is this term, plus it is lambda into 1 minus lambda x1 transpose q x2 plus again lambda into 1 minus lambda x2 transpose q x1 plus 1 minus lambda whole square x2 transpose q x2 and it is minus lambda x1 transpose q x1 minus 1 minus lambda x2 transpose q x2. Okay. Now, let us try to simplify this. Okay. Now these two terms are same, are equal. Why? Because we have already seen that it is a scalar. It is a scalar quantity, x1 transpose q x1 is a scalar, x2 is a scalar quantity. So, it will be equal to its transpose, and if it is equal to its transpose means x2 transpose q transpose x1 and q transpose will be q because symmetric matrix. So, both are equal. So, this term and this term are equal. Okay. So, we can write this as, and we can club these two terms. So, it is lambda into 1 minus lambda x1 transpose q x1. We can club these two terms also by taking 1 minus lambda common. Okay. So, plus, okay, plus we can take q transpose x2 transpose q x2 common. So, it is again 1 minus lambda common. So, it is 1 minus lambda minus 1. Okay. From these two terms take lambda common. So, it is lambda minus 1, sorry, it will be lambda minus 1. Okay. From these two terms you take 1 minus lambda into this common. So, we obtain 1 minus lambda minus 1 and these terms are same. So, it is 2 lambda 1 minus lambda x1 transpose q x1 x2. Now, we apply this result, that is for if q is a symmetric positive semi definite matrix, then twice of x transpose q y is less than or equal to this quantity. This we have already proved. So, we can apply this result over here. So, this will be less than or equal to, this will remain as it is, and again 1 cancel out and it is minus lambda into 1 minus lambda x2 transpose q x2 and it is less than equals to 2 times this is less than equals to x1 transpose qx1 plus x2 transpose qx2. Now, this is lambda into 1 minus lambda times this, and this is lambda into 1 lambda minus 1 times this. So, both will cancel because of positive negative sign, and here it is minus of this and it is plus of this, again both will cancel. So, it is equal to 0. That means that this quantity, we have shown that this expression is less than equal to 0, and hence the function is a convex function. So, we can easily say that if in QPP the involved Q, okay, the matrix Q, if it is positive semi definite symmetric matrix, then the function will be a convex function, and hence it will be a convex programming problem, and therefore, the KKT conditions which we have just obtained become sufficient. Become sufficient means if we solve the KKT conditions, then the problem, then the x which we obtained by solving those equations or conditions will be global optimal or global minimum. Okay. So, next result is only that result, that if Q is a symmetric positive semi definite matrix of order n, and if there exists u bar, v bar, x bar satisfy the KKT conditions 3, these are the 3 KKT condition 3, okay, then x bar solves QPP. X bar solves QPP means x bar will be the global minimum point of QPP, because then KKT condition will become sufficient. Okay. So, in this way, so we will see in the next class that how can we solve a general QPP using KKT conditions. Okay. So, thank you.